Howdy. Welcome back to Dion Talk. Earlier today, I was in the Seattle Investors Club Mastermind group, which meets every Thursday, and it is basically a Zoom meeting full of a bunch of people smarter than me. And the topic we covered was the impact of the eviction moratorium being stretched out from now until October 3rd, or extended. And what I wanted to do is get with some investors who have portfolios larger than mine. And I want to find out how the eviction moratorium impacted them for the last year and how they see the extension impacting their investing strategies going forward. So today I am with Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time and Matt, the lumberjack landlord. Let's start with Matt. I have my censor button ready. So can you give me your honest opinion of what you think the eviction moratorium has done to your portfolio?
It has generally speaking helped it grow because other landlords wanted to sell out. So I've actually bought more deals in the last 12 months than I have in any 12 months of my investing career. A number of them were MLS deals where it was bad agents because, as we all know, birds of a feather flock together. And when there's a hot market, everybody starts doing that thing. A number of the properties I've bought, I've purchased from agents that have done less than 5 or 10 deals in their entire career, or certainly in less than a year. So they've largely mispriced assets. So, aside from the whole hospitalization and death thing, viva la pandemic. I mean, it's helped me grow my business a lot. Overall, the rental effects have not been that great. We think we went from about 98% collected to 99.6 after the government got involved. And that 0.4 was on purpose. We specifically didn't want to renew for that tenant. So largely speaking, it's been ineffective, and the hand waving has been far greater than it should have been, or than it has been for us.
So you have 70-ish units.
I do.
And 1 or 2 tenants sound like they've been an issue. So less than an actual percent of your portfolio has been impacted. Okay.
Yeah. So we had 70-ish units, 136 tenants. And really the issue was 1 tenant the entire time and then 1 tenant a part of the time.
Okay. And Mike, your portfolio is a little over 180 units. How has the moratorium affected your portfolio?
So really, we've gone through a couple of different phases, right? When the initial announcement was made, actually under the previous president, we actually saw some immediate impact. We had 3 or 4 tenants translate the original eviction moratorium as a free rent bonanza. Of those 4 tenants, none of them are still with us. However, we were down. I haven't done the math across all 4 of them because they left at different times, but certainly a $20,000, perhaps even as high as $25,000 impact in lost rent across 4 individuals who believed the media, they believed the cancel rent thing that they were seeing, and they tried it and they all lost. They were all evicted for other reasons. They all have judgments. That said, I'm down, let's call it $25,000. That was really in the first 6 months. After the first 6 months, maybe 7 months, one of them may have gone 8. We tried to work with everyone. So we have worked, I've given discounts. I've done everything I can for tenants that we want to keep. I think all in all, given rent discounts, those problem tenants were probably down about $40,000 all in over the course of 14 or 15 months. Currently speaking, we have 3 tenants, I believe, requesting government assistance, which will be anywhere between 4 months and a month. So, we'll see where that goes. I'm frankly not counting on it. I don't count on the government for anything. But if it shows up, great. If not, we will do something right by the tenant like we have done others. These 4 tenants, through no fault of their own, got caught in a bad space. As long as this goes away and they're working again, I'll find a way to make that go away if the government doesn't pay up like they should. So, in addition to that, so a little impact on rents. Losing 40 grand's not fun. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. But yes, we are seeing more opportunities to buy, especially over the last month or so. It looks like a lot of older landlords have had enough of being yanked around. And I fully expect to buy I don't know, 20 to 40 units between now and the end of the year. Hopefully, knock on wood, most of that seller financed. I would love to get 40 units all seller financed. That's my personal goal. And you could do that. Again, it's in the course. When you understand taxes, you understand what's called an installment loan. You understand how to estimate taxes and income structures. Again, I'm a trained accountant, so I can talk like that. So we lost some money, but we'll be okay. And then hopefully grow our portfolio with a lot of great seller financing.
Not to be too specific, you're talking about losing $40,000 over the period of the last year, when your rent rolls are $145,000 ish per month.
Yeah,
like that. Those are the numbers. So somebody that doesn't have a rental yet is thinking, oh, if I lost $40,000, I would be destroyed.
It's less than 1%.
It's less than 1%, right?
It's less than 0.5%.
Okay, so I'm going to segue and use your brains. I'm going to make a short video, basically titled, "The Eviction Moratorium Was Not Extended." And I'm going to give my reasons why now. And you guys are going to correct me because you're smarter than me if I have something wrong.
Okay.
In the last moratorium, you didn't have to prove financial impact from COVID. You could just stop paying rent. It was everywhere in the United States. And rent relief had to be requested by either the tenant or the tenant and the landlord. But the one that ended on July 31st and has now extended to October 31st is only extending in counties that have a high infection rate. The tenant has to prove financial impact from COVID to not pay rent. And now there are changes where there is rent relief available to landlords without the tenant having to request. Because the problem was tenants who were working but not paying rent couldn't request relief. But the actual impact is the landlord isn't receiving money, so they can request rent relief. Is anything I said in the last 41 seconds wrong?
So, and again, I say this because just in the last 24 hours, I've spoken with attorneys and had one post this morning. So I would not call it an extension. The last moratorium is dead and gone. This is a fresh, whatever you want to call it, moratorium. So I think everybody who's calling this an extension is wrong, frankly, both legally and kind of positioning wise. It is a brand new thing. It is being called the same thing, but the variables, as you've just correctly highlighted, are night and day different. But again, if you're a landlord who's not getting paid, it kind of feels the same way. But it is not an extension. It's a brand new one.
And what do you think, Matt?
I agree. It's so one of the things. So I actually did a video on it, and I said eviction moratorium again, because the old one did lapse. Yeah, the old one did lapse. It lapsed for a couple of days. It is a new one, but yeah, largely speaking, it's slightly more refined than the previous. Still horrible, but slightly more refined. There's still massive, $100,000 fines if you try to evict, due to non-payment, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be all this confusion around, well, what about the people that filed eviction paperwork on the 1st? Just because they came out with this new CDC thing, does that stop those? And it's tracked because it wasn't heard yet. Now there's going to be all those question marks around it. So it is new. It is again, more importantly, it's again, even with the guidance from the Supreme Court of the United States saying, don't do this. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I think I'm most interested to see. I'm most interested to see what big body decides to challenge this and what then comes of it, because it is again, but it's everything that you said is correct. However, I have found, let's just say, some inconsistencies in paperwork that people have filed with these departments that I've had to call and say, I'm not signing that because of this. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds in the next 60 days, even if it stands for the next 60 days, which I think has a shot of not standing.
Okay. And then one last thing to wrap up with.
Yeah.
The last moratorium said people couldn't increase rents. The moratorium that's in effect now doesn't seem to have that in it at all. And I don't want to say that if it's not true. It's 19 pages long. I don't have it all memorized.
I believe that's the case.
I have it right I have it right in front of me. All highlighted. I did not see anything about not being able to raise rents.
Okay, awesome.
That's correct. from what I recall. I read the 19-page. I scanned it, then I read it, and already through PTSD, I've forgotten most of it.
Yeah, no, highlighted. You're right. There's some significant fines. People don't realize. People out YouTube University don't realize that you can have $100,000 or $250,000 fine and a year in jail.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of things I want to avoid both of those.
I look horrible in horizontal stripes.
I look at prison as a retirement plan.
What?
Free housing, bed to sleep in,
The ultimate house hack?
3 meals a day, all the sex you don't want. It's just like high school.
That's just like high school.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The ultimate house hack with 190 people on your own block.
Not good. Not today.
Hard.
But not today.
It's awesome.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for taking the time to help me with this. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, Matt, how can they do that?
Lumberjacklandlord.com and Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube, and part of the amazing One Rental at a Time course that both of us actually contribute to, and Mike obviously is the author of.
Awesome. And Mike, how can they get a hold of you?
You can go to your Google search bar and type in One Rental at a Time. You should see YouTube, book, Instagram, website, all that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you both. Until my next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
There will be some editing in there. I don't know if that last piece will be in there or not. Maybe we'll leave prison out of the idea there.
I think it shows.
Where's he going with this?
Dion, that shows commitment, man. You'd have me beat on how you house act at that point. I'd be like, nope, no. Dion's gonna have to do the course. Granted, he's gonna be wearing a pink jumpsuit when he records it.
Okay.
Hilarious.
Good stuff, guys.
All right. Well, I look forward to you getting your new internet next week, Mike. That'll be great.
All right, guys. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. See you guys.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.